charter cable at 186, on our FCC broadcast channel over the air on Channel 6, on the World Wide Web, tvbigbear.com, and locally on your FM station at 87.7 FM.
What do we do with the coffee cups?
Put it between your legs.
What?
Put it between your legs. I like.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm John Wells.
I'm Gloria Rose.
And our special guest today is. You introduced him.
Gunnar.
Gunnar Nelson, everybody. How are you? Welcome to my show.
Thanks for having us on. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Don't be nervous to talk in the bush.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Right there. Got it. Are you still on with us, Noel?
Yeah, I never met Gunnar, but I sure knew his dad and his granddad.
I'll tell you what. I'm absolutely in awe of you and your family, sir. What an amazing thing you've done for planet Earth, and it's nice to hear your voice, your normal voice.
Thank you, and what your family has done too. You know, it was really wonderful. All those years that my dad knew your dad, I mean, way back when they were both band leaders, you know, and your mom, your granddad rather, was a singer, and your grandma was a singer, and they all got together at different orchestras all over the country.
That is fantastic. I had no idea that Mel was a band leader, and that's my ignorance, excuse me, but that's what a wonderful time, and a lot of people out there that didn't grow up with the show didn't know that Oz had a big band. And that's how we met Harriet, actually. He put out an ad for a chanteuse. She was actually the first female singer in a big band ever.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know a lot of things about Harriet. She was really cool. She sang at the Cotton Club when she was 15.
Wow.
Just grew up in showbiz, and her star was actually on the rise faster than Ozzy's when they hooked up. And what a team. They just did such great work.
Fantastic.
They had a #1 in 1935 with their big band, with a song called And Then Some, and had a radio show because apparently their banter between songs kept on getting longer and longer and funnier, and their songs kept on getting shorter.
Decided, let's use this.
And Red Skelton actually was in the audience one night and saw them and thought they'd really translate great to radio, and that turned into TV.
Wow. Wow. A little bit of history there.
Oh, Big Bear's nothing but history. I got a million of them.
Yeah, that's it. And you guys are doing a show tonight that is tomorrow night.
Yep.
Tomorrow night. Well, if you're watching Saturday, it's tonight.
It's Saturday night.
It is
Today
Saturday night.
Friday.
We're actually playing at the Cave, which is absolutely wonderful. For the viewers out there, I don't know if you've actually gone down there and checked out what they've done to it. It's beautiful. It's a real
Yeah,
deal.
they tore it all up, and now they can arrange it any way they want.
Yeah, we actually do a show called Ricky Nelson Remembered, and it's not a tribute show. It's a celebration. We're not trying to be Ricky and Ricky suits or anything like that, but it is a celebration of our dad's life and times and the history of rock and roll as well. We have the blessing our dad was the most televised rock star in history.
Wow.
435 episodes of Ozzy and Harriet to choose from, and we brought video with us, and it's a really, really nice, high-energy rock concert meets an A&E biography episode. It's pretty cool.
No,
And a great show for the whole family.
And it's a little bit different. You don't have a warm-up band or there's anything. It's just you guys.
No, we don't need no stinking badges. You know,
That's right.
we actually, it's just us because it's really honestly the man sold 280 million singles in his life, and had a wonderful, well, actually a double career. I mean, he had the early rockabilly years. And then when people considered him completely over and Flower Power was here, he reinvented himself with something called the Stone Canyon Band, which was credited as the first true country rock band. And so we've got so much material that it'd be kind of distracting to have, no matter who they are, come out, open up, set change,
then,
all that stuff. It kind of slows the momentum down.
And so for everybody that's coming to the show, right now the shows the way they have them. They have the opening band, and some time goes on, and the headliners come out around 9 or 9:30. Don't come late.
No.
Be there when the doors open because you don't want to miss any of their show.
Right.
It's going to start at 7:30.
Yeah, if you come at 7, or if you come at actually 9 o'clock and all that stuff, you'll get to see both of us. Come at 7:30, you'll just see Matthew. He'll be out there warming up by himself.
Now, where were you born?
I was born in Burbank.
Burbank? Okay.
I was born in Burbank.
and raised here in California?
Yeah, technically a flatlander.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, but I've now been inducted into the tribe. Actually,
Yes,
I
you
married
have.
a local girl, which is
You're a big bear too. Lila
Yeah.
used to be Lila Krisavage.
Lila Krisavage.
And she doesn't want to come on. Can't you just run on and smile and then run back off? No?
Yeah, just
Okay.
jump over all the
Yeah,
wires in the camera.
I want you to imagine the most beautiful woman in the world is
Yes.
standing behind the camera right now in a baseball hat and no sleep.
No sleep.
That's right.
When did you first get into music?
God, when I was born. Actually, I've been
I would
doing this a
imagine.
long, long time.
Yes.
It's kind of neat. If you have something around the house, as Mr. Blank would attest to, it's normal. You don't realize how special it really is. And until I was 8 years old, I thought everyone's dad was a rock star.
Right.
It was always around, and it was a really interesting time for us as we were growing up. We were born in '67, so our dad was putting his Stone Canyon
Right.
band together in the house at the time. I didn't know that it was not usual for Bob Dylan to be hanging out at the house, or George Harrison to be the next door neighbor,
Wow.
or Mama Cass to be your babysitter. I didn't know that, you know, and it's actually really wonderful because it gives you great social proof. It's a blessing and a curse to be a son of. You have to work harder. Our dad actually had to go through the same thing too.
Right.
He was a beautiful man. He was on television, and I think it would be normal for people to discount him unfairly as a made-for-TV guy. But he was a true blue rock star. I mean, he had a choice at a certain time. It's really important to note. He could have gone and been an actor. He was fabulous at it. He'd made Rio Bravo with John Wayne and was getting all kinds of offers to be a movie star. And he loved rock and roll so much, he went down the arguably tougher path of doing that, you know, with weird travel schedules and no deli trays and no personal assistants and moving your own gear. He loved music, and he literally lived and died for rock and roll. And I think when it comes down to it, what he really loved about it, more so than acting, he grew up as an actor, obviously. He was on the show from the time he was 6. Started singing when he was 16. But he chose the music because the connection is so finite and so immediate. And when you're on camera, we have to imagine that you're sitting there kind of groggy, getting ready for your day, doing all that stuff. But when you're actually playing a rock show, I can see that you're sitting there groggy, getting ready for your day.
Exactly.
You know, and it's a nice thing. And he loved that, and he loved people. And it's something that our family has always really done. Grandma Harriet always said the Nelson family's never really been in the entertainment business. We've always been in the connection business.
Right.
Oh,
And you get really connected playing music, and it's been something I've literally always done.
Wow. So was there ever a time in your life where there was a choice? Where there was a
I think
fork in
everybody
the
has a
road?
choice. I think everybody has a choice. But, you know, to me, yes and no, the answer to your question. People ask me, because we haven't had a contemporary hit in a number of years, and it's always funny when I get a younger interviewer and they say, so are you still making music? I say, yeah, I'm still breathing too. Because really, honestly, it's not a job. It really isn't. It's not just a job or an occupation. It's an identity. It's who you are, and your reason why has got to be that strong. Because I always say I don't get paid to perform. I don't get paid for that. I get paid to miss, you know, Little League and PTA meetings and waking up next to my wife and kissing my kids when they go to school, and that's what we get paid for.
Right.
But anybody who travels for a living can identify with that.
Sure.
The thing that makes it worth it is actually connecting with an audience and seeing that look, or getting a story, someone
amazing,
coming
isn't it?
up and say, hey, this particular song that you wrote made this much of a difference. If you're not tapped into that, your reason why is not going to be strong enough.
So it's the same thing with TV. I love to do stage work because of the audience.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It is the show.
Yeah,
The
well, it's all
audience is
theater.
the show.
It
Yes.
is all theater, but it's addictive. It's this high that people in the
Nothing
audience
like
don't realize that when you're on stage, you know, it feeds you.
Yes.
But, you know, there's something profoundly wrong with all of us. We're sitting up here in front of the TV going, love us, please. So we have
in the
to,
morning.
we have to balance that out. You know? And sometimes that actually does get away from people. And we've been really lucky because coming from the family we come from, we've got a great catalog of great examples and bad examples. And Oz and Harriet were wonderful. They really were who you saw on TV. Our
Well,
dad,
that sincerity is what
Yeah.
gave it its longevity. I
yeah, it
believe.
was a
And
real
everybody
family.
wanted to have a family like that. You know,
Well, they
when we
really
saw it
were
on
that family, and it's
television.
important to note, and also the distinction too. During that time, a lot of people felt comfortable with Oz because, unlike all the other TV parents, he was the guy falling off the ladder.
Yeah.
He wasn't the guy that was proselytizing and saying you should do things this way. He never was that way. He was the guy, you know, getting arrested for trying to find Tutti Frutti ice cream at 3 in the morning. And that made him approachable. And it was really nice to remind all the parents out there, we're just trying to fool everybody. We're just making our way as we go
Right.
and doing the best we can, as we all are. And that family was really sincere and genuine in the fact that things always tend to work out, you know, if you let them.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know,
and
and
if you
families
love
must
each
support.
other and your family, and you always find a way to work
And family's
together.
what you make it.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it's not who you're born unto or anything like that. You get to choose your family,
That's
Yes.
right.
which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So how is it that you're going to play your dad's music instead of you and your brother?
Well, we actually were really lucky. We were blessed to sell 10 million records to kids who had no idea who Ricky Nelson was. at a certain time. The only people who were impressed by our lineage was they were the press at the time. And so we have such a wealth of material. My brother and I have 11 records on our own record company outside of the family enterprises. And so we separated the show. They're very different, very, very different.
Oh yeah, I heard your music the other night. It's
Oh, cool.
awesome.
It's a little more rockin', and it's a little more of
Yeah.
that arena rock thing. And the Ricky Nelson stuff is so good, and it deserves respect. Because when they were making that music, we didn't have all the studio tricks that we have nowadays.
Right.
There weren't unlimited tracks. You spend years in the studio. Like look, Britney Spears, with all respect, would not happen in the 50s. We didn't have auto-tune. No, we didn't have auto-tune.
Right.
And nowadays, kids on a Disney show can go in and just sing whatever, having never sung, and they can put it together in the computer.
Make
Believe
it
it or
sound
not,
great,
make
yeah.
it sound great. Back then, what's wonderful is that these kids, they're kids. Rock and roll was brand new, no rules. They would just go in and kind of like do what they wanted to hear. But they had to be able to play, they had to be able to sing, and they had to do it right the first time. I mean, that iconic solo for Hello, Mary Lou or Traveling Man was done on the fly. James Burton just did it. He didn't pattern it out or practice or anything like that. He was that good. And our dad was such a good singer that all those are first takes, and these
Like
iconic
this,
songs.
live.
And and that's what happens. I feel blessed because I got to actually come up during a time when we had a lot of technology in the studio, but we didn't have the technology we have today. I was actually with a razor blade cutting tape and stuff in a studio, and so I respect what we can do on a computer now.
Yeah.
I know where that all comes from. So make a cut here. Do you know what making a cut was?
Yes, that's
20
why it's
years
named
ago.
that.
Razor
The
blade.
cut,
Here you
yes.
go. 20 minutes on a cut. It didn't work. Oh no.
Oh, no.
And back then those guys just had to do it right.
Right.
And the records to this day sound so unbelievably good. Garden Party. What an amazing sounding song. Just like it is. Honest.
You mentioned a little earlier about traveling. Is this show on the road? I mean,
Yeah, we're
are
out
you-
there doing it. Yeah, we are right now. We did 100 dates last year with it.
That's
Where are
it.
you going after this?
We have a gig in Hermosa Beach on Sunday, and then we have a gig in Phoenix the next day. Yep, and then I'm going to go home and continue my remodel on my house.
Nope.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I've known Lila, his lovely wife, I don't know, what did you say, like 10 years? We used to work at a couple of the same places.
Yeah.
So it's a little apprehensive to meet a rock star.
Oh, good gosh.
But we went
I'm
to their,
Rockstar Larvae,
I know.
but that's great.
We went to their house, and I have to say, he is the most genuine, nicest person ever. And it's been such a pleasure being able
He's
to
already
get to
married.
know you. Yeah, I know.
She makes amazing Rice Krispie treats, by the
Oh,
way.
stop, Gunnar, stop.
She does.
And I just want to thank them for their hospitality. They've opened their house up to the friends and relatives that are here, and it's been so much fun. It's been a pleasure to get to know you.
And man, you can hold your tequila too. It's unbelievable.
Hey,
And we're all going over after this for Strata French toast. Right?
That's right.
That's right.
tequila.
Hey, look, it's Big
tequila.
Bear. We can go there, guys. Friday, we've earned it.
It was Patron, okay?
That's it.
Oh, you die slow. Okay. Oh, what do we do to Lowell?
We got something going on there. We lost Noel on there. Well, thank you so much for
Hey,
coming
thanks for
on.
having me. Seriously, I've been
Really
looking forward to this
appreciate
a long time. The show's going to be great. The Cave is amazing venue.
And get your tickets. They're still available. You can go to thecavebigbear.com, or you can just walk by on Saturday and pick up tickets right there at the door.
Go for this guy right
Yeah.
here. You get this guy for free.
It's a twofer.
Right.
Buy one, get one free. So please, everybody, let's welcome them back to Big Bear. We welcome Lila and her husband and the girls, and it's just going to be a wonderful evening. So
thank you.
please stop by and support them.
A
and
wonderful town you have
let's
here.
rock.
Yeah.
Saturday night at the Cave. Doors open 6:30. Show starts promptly at 7:30.
Yes, don't be late.
Be late.
Yes.
You don't want to miss this one. We'll be back in just a few minutes with Noel Blank and Richard with the Week in Review.
Whoa.